It's time.
She's spilling the tea.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Well, Spotify has put out their annual Wrapped Data Insights, and they're talking about the most streamed artists of the year. And
Rap data?
Yeah,
So
Wrapped.
6ix9ine. Oh, rap.
Yeah,
Oh, they said rap.
W-R-A-P-P.
Oh, W-R-A-P.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's a wrap for the year. And with the decade also coming to a close, it's about to be 2020. They are talking about who was the most streamed artist of the decade. Who would you think was number one with 28 billion total streams over the past 10 years?
Taylor Swift.
Wrong.
Really?
Drake.
Oh, we'll drop on the clues bomb for Aubrey Graham.
You heard John Boss over here? John was like, Drake. Okay,
Number
John
2 on that
Boss.
list was Ed Sheeran.
Really?
Followed by Post Malone, then Ariana Grande, and then Eminem. So that is your list.
Listen,
now, for the annual, yes, Charlamagne?
No, I was having a conversation. I'm like, yo, when it comes to commercial viability, I've never seen a run like Drake. As far as the way Drake has dominated radio over the past 10 years, and as far as like what he does with streaming numbers, it's unprecedented.
And this is just on Spotify, just to remind you guys. It's not overall. Now, as far as most streamed female artists of the decade, number 1 was Ariana Grande, followed by Rihanna, then Taylor Swift, then Sia, then Beyonce. And then most streamed tracks, number 1 was Ed Sheeran's Shape of You, and number 2 was One Dance by Drake, and then 21 Savage and Post Malone with Rockstar was number 3.
I wonder why they had the categories broken up like that.
I mean, I guess they do this every year, and then because it's the end of the decade now, this is the most streamed tracks of the decade.
Okay.
It's about time to start having those, who was the artist of the decade conversations, song of the decade, things of that nature. It's about that time.
Now, just for 2019, right, the most streamed male artist was Post Malone. For 2019.
Mayonnaise music.
The most streamed female artist was Billie Eilish. And the most streamed podcast of 2019, what do you think that was?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Button.
Really?
Actually,
that's Spotify,
but it's
though.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a huge deal for him.
We'll
He was
drop
followed
clues
by...
bombs for Spotify. Joe Budden.
Shout out to Joe.
But isn't he the only podcast on Spotify?
No,
they got a bunch of.
Yeah,
Jamel
my
Hill.
Favorite Murder was number 2.
Okay.
And then there were some German podcasts that was numbers 3 and 4. I can't even pronounce them. And then number 5 was the Misfits podcast. So those are just some of the numbers that I'm giving you right now.
Well, Spotify is growing. With the Spotify.
And rap of the decade, what do you think? I'm just curious. Drake?
It depends. If I'm being objective, I'm going to say Drake. But if I'm being, personal, I have to say Kendrick Lamar. Only because Kendrick Lamar, when he drops, he doesn't drop often. He doesn't do a lot of features. But when he does, he shuts things all the way down.
Yeah, but Drake's been over to do. He's done it in hip-hop. He's done it in Latin. He's done it all across the board.
I'm not about to argue with you with this. You asked me a question. I said if I'm being objective, I said Drake. I said if I'm being honest with my personal self, is Kendrick.
Okay, now let's talk about, I know you guys haven't seen this play, Slave Play, yet on Broadway, but there was some drama that went down on Broadway. Jeremy O'Harris, that's his actual theatrical debut, Slave Play. He's the director of that. And y'all should go see it. But anyway, one of the women in the audience actually got up and did this.
I don't want to hear that white people are the playing
I've never once said that you as a white woman are not a marginalized person, but if you heard that in my play, I don't know what to tell you.
So a white woman got up and said she doesn't want to hear that white people are the effing plague all the time. And she said she also has been a victim of false arrest and sexual assault.
Oh, shut up!
Had her children taken away. And then she said, how the F am I not a effing marginalized member of this damn society?
White people, please stop arguing against reality. Okay, slavery actually happened. Jim Crow segregation actually happened. Racism and prejudice is real. There's nothing you can do about the past. The only thing you can do is use your privilege to combat the systemic racism that exists because of your ancestors.
Then she said she was tired of hearing about things that happened 300 years ago.
No.
And a whole bunch of stuff about how white people don't get how racist they are.
Does she know what the play is called? What's the play called, Yee?
Yeah, it's called The Slave Play, but it's not about what you even think it's about.
What is it about?
So I know you're not really supposed to give it away, but a lot of people have seen it at this point. And Rihanna actually went to opening because they play her song Work a lot in that play. That's kind of the theme of it. But it's basically about a study that's like a brand new therapy they're doing with interracial relationships. And it's not even necessarily about white people being bad. It's more about how black people in those interracial relationships have a lot of baggage that they've inherited due to slavery and how it's affecting their relationships. So that's really kind of what it's about. So in the beginning, you think it is about slavery because you see these scenarios, and then halfway through, you find out what's really going on.
I know one thing. Standing up and saying how you're marginalized at a play called Slave Play is the epitome of privilege and entitlement. The fact that you stand up and say, no, I'm oppressed too, at a event called Stage Play. Boy, your white privilege
But
is showing.
I do hope that makes people go and see this play even more. So that's important. All right, and congratulations to Remy Ma. All charges were dropped against her in that
Shout out
assault
to
case.
Remy Ma.
And that's because there was no surveillance video capturing this alleged punch. That allegedly, Brittany Taylor was saying that she was punched by Remy Ma, and there were no witnesses that saw an altercation between them. So the judge did dismiss that case entirely.
She should absolutely
Well,
positively
she's
sue.
planning.
Oh,
it
good.
seems like it's unclear, but it feels like she might be planning to sue her.
I had to sit for 6 months and can't get no money. I had to be in the house by 8 o'clock. Nah, I'm sue.
Yeah, but it's a waste of money, though. 'Cause
Yeah,
who you suing?
It does.
The young lady.
What she got?
It does.
Well, she won't have anything for the next 20 years because every
maybe
little
for her,
dime
it's
that she
also
gets, she got to send over.
Making a statement, so don't try me. You know what I mean? And she had to wear an ankle monitor during that time. She was limited with travel restrictions, and like Envy said, couldn't really make money.
Yeah, but it's going to cost you more to be back and forth to court. That's going to cost you more time, more money.
Right.
Is the young lady still on Love and Hip Hop?
I don't know about that. I don't know if she's on this.
I get all that money back.
The beauty of it is that Remy's charges got dropped.
Yes,
now,
it is.
now you can go out there and make that money. No need to waste more time and energy on that situation.
All right.
I want my lawyer.
Well, that is your rumor
Still
report.
got to pay the lawyer.
That's all.
You won't even get your fees for your lawyer reimbursed. You're gonna get a bunch of tracksuits. That's right. That's all you gonna get from her suing that young lady. A bunch of tracksuits,
some Adidas,
and some
some
sneakers.
Pumas. Hey, but that young lady be having a hard time for the
Okay,
next couple years for
guys.
lying.
Rumor report's over.
All right, thank you, Ye. Now, front page news next.
Yes, let's talk about y'all going out here buying these smart TVs and then having them in your homes and possibly being spied on.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.